All right. There's Daddy.
Oh!
Yeah, everybody's here for you. Okay, let's try your cheeks. 1, 2, 3. Good job. 1, 2, 3. Good. Can you squeeze? Oh. Good squeeze. Do it again. Oh. Good. One more time. Oh. Can you close your teeth? Now give it a kiss. There you go. Good. Do it again. Good squeeze. Good. Way to activate your cheek muscle. Can you do it on this side? Good one. 2 more. Wow. 1 more. Way to go. High five. Can you do in the middle? Give me your fish pops. Good. All right. In your teeth. Big one. Oh, let's try a different one. Hold on. Your lips are getting stuck in the little ridges there. Let's see if this one helps you get a little more suction. We want your cheeks to come in. It's a green one, you're right. Big one. Watch my cheeks, Nathan. Yeah, good. Hands down. Good. Do it again. Good. Can you open your teeth? Open. Mwah. That's it. Do it again. Oh, give it a kiss. Suck in. Pull your cheeks in. You got it. There it is. Good. Do it again. Good. Again. And again. Big one. And biggest you can do. Mwah. You got it. Almost. Try this side. Good. One more. Super. High five. You got it, dude. Yeah. You're getting those a little bit.
Mustache.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh, is that your mustache? All right, now let's try your tongue. Let's see what your tongue is doing. Put your tongue in your mouth. There we go. We're gonna go this way. Oh, and we're gonna go this way. All right. Can you point? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Good. We want your tongue to go to the side. Very good. And then this side. Can you go this way? Touch. Can you touch over here? Good. Can you touch over here? Good. Can you touch over here? Good. Can you touch up here? Right there. Good. Right up there. Can you click your tongue? Click it. Good try. Way to go. There you go. Can you say la, 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 lo, lu. Oh, let me see. Lu. Good. Lee. Hey, way to go. Look at your tongue move around.
I know. High five.
Super job. Okay. Let me write some notes here. So cheek resist. 3 out of 3 left and right. Good. Fish pops. 3 out of 10 we saw cheek movement. We can still work on those. We want your cheeks and lips working together a little bit more. Lateral tongue movement. Left, right. 3 out of 3. Yeah, you showed me fish pops. Yeah, you do it. Oh, you want to do it again? Yeah? Do you want to do it? Oh, you want to drink?
Yes, I think.
You want to drink? Say, I want a drink. Drink, please. Yes, you sure can. Oh my goodness, what happened to your straw side? That one looks a little funny. Either that's not my straw or that one has been in a washer. So we're going to try 6. And then if we need to, we'll go back to 5.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, keep your tongue in. Smile. Good. 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 Yes. Okay, 1 big sip. Try not to do 2. Go. Yes. That's it. Big one. Go. All right, so this one, we want to see more of his cheeks moving a little bit with it. There we go. And with jaw support, he does better. Super. That means we're getting more tongue retraction when we drink from the straw. Good. And you're right, just some little reminders, especially at the beginning, are good. And then he seems to carry it out pretty good. Mm-hmm. Now he's doing some double swallows. Big swallow.
So I should hold his jaw
while he's taking a sip. Yeah, and if you can bring these to therapy, Sandra, using his therapy straw, this has way more resistance than this one. Okay. And so you're going to get more cheek activation, more lip puckering, and more tongue retraction with this than you will with that. Okay. Yep. But a little bit of, can you see the difference between if there's no support? Okay. Hey, Nathan, we're going to do 2 more. Mommy, Daddy's watching. Yep. 2 more. Mommy, Daddy, watch. Oops, let me get in the middle. See how you can see just a little more moving up here? Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we want, is just that little bit. Not a lot. It shouldn't.
And it helps the tongue retract better?
Yeah. If the jaw, if you see too much movement in the jaw is changing intraoral pressure. Okay. If the jaw stays still and the lips come forward and the cheeks come in just a little bit, the tongue is changing intraoral pressure. Okay. So that's what we're trying to make happen, because it doesn't always happen naturally. If his lips roll back, that's changing intraoral pressure using his lips instead of his tongue. And so the more he uses his tongue to retract, the easier it will be for him to get your swallow that you're looking for. Yeah. If he's pushing forward with his tongue while he's drawing liquid, it's going to be in the wrong position already. Okay. So, but he's doing great with it. This is way better than last year. You put the seatbelt on, that's a good idea. We don't want you to fall out of your chair. And so this is starting to get real picky and trying to fine-tune all of that just a little bit. And I don't feel like he's going to be on this straw very long, but we want him to be able to do it 100% independent. And we want to watch that the liquid goes all the way up the straw in one sip. Yeah, and not doing this with his tongue. Yeah, so we want this. Pumping. That's right. Exactly. And that's what each one of these straws is designed to do. Just make him work a little harder. Yeah, you can do it yourself. Keep your tongue in your mouth. Tongue up.
Okay, awesome. I'm watching the first video of the 12 hours of talk tools.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so I'm kind of on like 3 hour.
Okay, so you haven't gotten to that one
yet. I haven't gotten to that one yet, no. And then I'm taking the CEU. I'm going to take the ASHA one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, it will all make it. This will make that class easier to figure out because you've already seen it.
Okay, awesome.
Single sips, slide, and I'm going to rewrite his program plan for all of this new information.
Thanks for letting me.
Absolutely. Love to have our therapist here.
Thanks for letting me.
Single sips, slight jaw support. Initially, better cheek activation. Okay. Continue to mild swallow at beginning and only as needed after. We want him remembering it, and he's doing a really good job with that. Perfect, perfect. Okay, now what's next, mister? Should we do your chewy tube? We were trying to get some more. Oh my goodness, your chewy tube is done. Maybe we won't need it anymore. He's used, I can tell you practiced, for sure. Okay, let's see if we can get your tongue to follow. Can you bite? Bite, 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 bite. Good. Bite, bite. Good. Bite, 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 bite. Perfect. Bite, 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 bite. Yep, touch with your tongue. Follow. Yeah, follow. Good. Follow. Good. Okay. Did that make you gag? Did that feel funny?
Yes.
You okay? Yeah? You're okay? All right. Let's try this one. You ready? We're going to try and go this way. Bite, 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 bite. Can you touch here? Touch. Can you find it with your tongue? Good. And touch over here. Good. And touch over here. Good, and touch over here. Good, and touch over here. Oh, you do so much better when you know what to do, huh? Touch, and touch, and touch, and touch. Okay, look at you. We can go to chewing hierarchy level 3. So this one isn't in the class you're taking. This one is in our feeding course. No, it's in the sensory motor approach to feeding. But I'll give you good instructions. This is all to help him learn to move food around with lateral movement. Yeah. So
because when you're swallowing, you need to move it over here to chew, and then
that's right. And so when we do this incisor molar, that's how we kind of take a bite and sweep food back. He's doing pretty good with that. Now we're going to work across midline, because eventually we want to work here, 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 here. Okay. Where you can sweep it all the way across without going into thrusting. So there's 4 levels. He's on the 3rd one. Okay. Red chewy tubes will work for this. Tell him what to do. Improves the movement.
He does do well when he's a good listener.
Yeah.
Like when he's
and none of this is really ever meant for it to like magically happen. It's just a tool to help facilitate it. And so you can tell him and break it down always to help him figure out what to do with what you're wanting him to do. Okay. All right, let's see if you can do, let's see how your veggie stick goes here. You ready? Okay. Bite, 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 bite. Good. Bite, bite. So see how his tongue is following the food. Good. Now keep it there. Keep it back there. Good job. Good job. Good. 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 Keep it there. Good. Oh, you moved it. Keep it on that side. Smile and swallow. Very good. Nice job. Can we do it on the other side? Here we go. Bite, 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 bite. Good moving your tongue. Good moving your tongue. Yes. Good. Keep it all in the back. All in the back. Good job. Smile and swallow. Very good. You want some more? Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Did we talk about him being a little tongue-tied last time?
No.
Underneath?
No. You think so?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. And maybe he just didn't have a whole lot of movement to really observe it. But when you say la, when you have him lift his tongue,
all right.
it pulls. So it's just going to make all of this a little harder unless we can get his tongue released.
So
a dentist
surgical procedure,
outpatient. It's laser. Yeah. Most of them are doing lasers. Some are clipping. He might need to be clipped because his is posterior. It's more in the back. You see those lines down the center of his tongue? Yeah, because that's all that tissue pulling. Yep. There's a good picture of it right there. See how it's just thick? Yeah. And it's a little bit attached anterior, which is probably why he has this big gap between his teeth there. So they need to release that. They need to it's attached too far forward, and then it's a little thick in the back. Can you put your tongue right here? More forward. Say
yeah, so when it goes down, there's like 2 big indentations in his.
That's that pulling.
Right there.
Yep. That's that pulling back and down. That we're seeing.
That's a new thing now.
The tongue tie stuff. It is. And he's made a lot of progress without, but it's definitely attached. So
I'm glad that you are.
It may be. Yeah. It may be more of a dentition issue, and then swallowing. Swallowing is hard when your tongue's attached, and so we see a lot of times getting a habitual swallow without having to be reminded becomes hard because he just has to work extra hard at it. Good job. Nice work. Give me 10. Way to go. Way to go.
Good job.
Yeah.
Do you need to write a prescription in it?
I can't write a prescription because I truly cannot diagnosis.
Okay.
I can suspect it and visually say I see it and what it might be impacting functionally, and then we can get that and take it to a dentist who knows about tongue ties. That's the tricky part, is finding people who know about these types of tongue ties, not our normal, what we've kind of known in the past as a tongue tie, you know, being attached up here. It's a submucosal or posterior
You should write all that.
tongue tie. I'll write you a letter.
Oh, okay.
I'll write you a letter.
Alright.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you've got it there. Let me.
Yes, because I want to make sure I take him to the right person.
Well, and I will start looking for a preferred provider in the area.
Justine, you know what? I'll ask Justine about it too Monday. She's the owner of where
Yeah.
I work. And she worked with him a bunch too.
Yeah.
So I will ask Justine about it. I'll put a little note.
He's got posterior thickness, and then
Okay.
he's got an anterior attachment in the lower jaw.
Can you give me that in writing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying it as I write it
Okay.
down so that I can.
Okay, got it.
And anterior.
And that will help him.
That will help him free up his tongue movement so that he doesn't have to work so hard to get the tongue to go up or to go side to side. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you called it anterior tie.
It's an anterior attachment in the lower jaw. Yeah. So some people, they have a short frenulum. This isn't really short, but it's anteriorly attached. So when you try and elevate, it's pulling this way. And that's what causes that big gap in the front, and often the teeth to come in at the bottom as far as the dental part goes. And that's, and that's what makes it really hard to get good lateral movement of the tongue.
It's going to be harder,
Because you're pulling against, and you can, he's got enough range to do it, but it's like constantly something pulling against, so he's got to make it happen. Make it happen instead of it's just
easier to like not do it.
Yep. And so that's why it's such a simple procedure. If you can free up your tongue movement, we can do our jobs
I
much
think
easier.
that's probably why the L, because he can do his L. But then I always wonder, like, okay, why is he not starting to hang on to it? Because he can do the L beautifully.
Yeah. When he thinks about it, he pulls.
Yeah, but it's going to be so much extra work.
That's right.
Get it up and get there.
Yeah,
like
you shouldn't have to work at it. And it doesn't have to go that far, but when you've got this attached here, there's just that constant pull. So in connected speech, you're constantly going to want to keep your tongue down here because it's too hard to pull up. I've got several kids over the last couple of years where just once you release it, then that little part clears up so well because you've already taught him the placement. And he can do the sound, but it starts to habituate a little bit more.
Okay,
Yep. You want to put this on?
What's the name of the procedure?
It's a frenectomy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Here, and I just texted you what she
it's a dental procedure. Sometimes it depends on the age and the cooperation of kids. Sometimes they'll want to sedate. You know, if he has to be sedated for dental work, he's more than likely.
He has been having just getting his dental work.
Yeah. So he's okay with the cleaning?
Yeah. But
yeah. So I mean, there will be a local anesthetic. It's like having a filling. They numb it. He has to keep his mouth open, which they could prop it. But if he's not comfortable with the procedure, I mean, you don't want him moving around because it's scissors or laser. Yeah. So that if they often will want to sedate to do it. And I don't know if I would run out tomorrow and sedate him to do it. I think he's probably doing okay with what he's got, but you're going to see he's going to probably not make much more progress in some areas, especially with his tongue, because it's restricted. So
no, I have to look into because we have to give this guy whatever he has.
Yeah, and they'll look at it even beyond just his speech and his swallowing. There are implications for airway obstruction. There's implications for dental, how your dentition develops. So, you know, there's more parts to it than my little part that I know. And then you can kind of look at the big picture and say, is it something we want to do now, or is it something, maybe we wait until he does have to have some kind of dental procedure and do it all at once, kind of thing, or hopefully he doesn't get a cavity, but
he loves brushing.
Does he? Oh my
Gosh.
gosh.
He carries 2 toothbrushes to me every therapy session.
Really? That's crazy.
So will he already have like a super high palate then?
I don't think he has a high palate. Can you look up high? Look up. Look up at the ceiling. Look up here. Look. And say Look up. He doesn't have a high palate. His palate is pretty nicely shaped. So, but you often would no.
Because okay, I was just wondering because usually when he's sitting
by this age he should be okay.
Well,
yeah. How old are we? 7, 8.
Is he somewhere?
8. Yeah.
8 years old.
You won't. His palate is fused.
Okay.
And there shouldn't be a lot of change there.
Do you know what age it's fused by?
Early, like before a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, before a year. So tongue ties with kids with Down syndrome sometimes are not a bad thing in early development because it keeps the tongue here.
Yeah.
And not here.
Yeah.
And so it may be that, obviously his palate has shaped nicely around his tongue. And I didn't know him when he was a baby either, so I'm not sure what that looked like, but
Yeah.
It's interesting how all that works. Okay, so we're going to keep doing chewing hierarchy level 2 with this one, side to side.
Side to side.
And we're going to start the next step
over here.
with the tool. Yeah, and then we want him to keep it.
Okay.
With veggie stick.
Yeah, because we usually do it, but I just do it like, you just
on the
back.
back.
Go up and down like that.
Yeah, so he's mastered that. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'll try and remember put the whole chewing hierarchy in so you can just see the whole thing.
Okay, thank you.
That'll give you kind of a visual of it. Okay. Good. We'll go back and we'll do some more eating in just a second. So we move forward on the straw, which is good.
And that straw comes before or after this one?
After.
Is that one?
This
is
was
after?
this
So
was
is
number
after.
5.
Okay.
He's done with the broken one. Okay. Now the other thing he can be practicing is thickened liquids, like a yogurt through a fat straw. So you'll learn about this in the straw hierarchy.
Because it's a different type of pressure that you have to have for the larger one. Yeah, and it's harder to suck
more resistant.
You have to.
Yeah, so when we start straw number 5, we can start the thickened liquids hierarchy.
Okay.
I'm imagining, did you do much of a thickened hierarchy with him?
Not much, you know why?
Does he like yogurt?
Really picky eater.
Yeah.
You can count it only one hand, all the things that he's able to drink and eat.
Okay. So he doesn't like yogurt?
You know what I was thinking? No, he doesn't.
Okay.
You know there's a powder that some people use to
Thicken?
Yeah, like thicken.
There is.
In water.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking about using that on his Capri Sun.
Okay.
The taste will be the same. It's
Right.
Just, the amount
And
of,
you can buy a natural one. You don't have to buy the medical grade. It's called, oh my gosh, I just blanked on it. Agave nectar? I've got to look it up.
agave.
Not agave, that's the wrong word. It'll be in Lori's feeding book. I haven't used it in a long time, so I can't think of the name. But you can buy it like Whole Foods kind of thing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'll get the name of it. And we're gonna do straw
That'll
egg.
probably be better than medical because the other ones that I've tried, it's not so great.
Yeah.
It's just not.
You can also use, if he likes that flavor, you could also use baby food puree in it. So fruit to fruit puree in your fruit Capri Sun.
I see, I got it. Yeah.
And sometimes that will work too. With Capri Sun. Okay. Oh, I know you
The little cup and use.
Yep.
Well, not that straw. It would be the next straw.
It's a half of a. This is the same size as a McDonald's milkshake straw.
Okay.
Or if do you still have your straw hierarchy? Your kit? No. Okay. Just cut it in half.
Okay.
Well, no, you didn't get one. I would say it comes in the practice kit for the class you're taking, but it doesn't. That's the straw B that's in your little practice.
Okay.
Did you get a little practice?
Yeah, I don't have them because our facility just has like the videos and like some people already have them.
Right.
So
you don't have the stuff to practice with.
I don't have all of it, no, but a lot of the people actually
McDonald's
have
milkshake straw.
McDonald's
milkshake straw.
Okay.
Half of
For
it.
that. Let's see.
Okay. Good. All right.
Yeah, that's kind of like this.
Did you really? Yeah. Well, that's all right. So you're going to probably want to get your straw number 7 pretty quickly because I don't think he's going to be on 6 very long. And then you could order a pack of straw AB.
Straw AB?
A/B is what it's called.
A/B, alright.
Yeah. And then you'll have those. Okay, let's try your purple grabber. Where are you going, mister? I like your shirt, by the way. What does it say? Actually,
Sorry.
I can. All right, we're going to do purple. Here, let's do 10. Ready? Hands down. Hands down. Let's finish. Then I think I have a snack over there for you. Can you put your hand on the table? Hands down, and then we'll start. Ready? Come on. Yeah, you got to put your hands down, though. You're in a fixed posture. Right here. Put them on my hands. Put them on... Here. Can you put them on top of these?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look what we have next. Are you hungry? Can I have something to eat? Oh, you do. Okay, let's do 10 and 10 and then we'll eat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right, hands down. Yeah, you're okay. You don't need help. Open. Open. Ah. Okay, hands down. Look straight at my nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As soon as your hand goes up, your jaw starts to slide. Hands on the yellow ones. And then we're going to have our meatball. Oh, press it up. Hands on the yellows. Hands on the yellows. Quick, 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 quick. Yep, first. Yep, first your hands. First your hands. Thank you. All right. Good. Keep it in the back.
No, Daddy.
Oh, you don't like it?
No.
Too big?
No.
No?
I think it was too big of a bite.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Do you want to spit it out? I'm going to get a paper towel. Okay. Too big. My fault. I can't figure out how to get it out of the thing. Okay. Oh, whoops, 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 whoops. Missed. More?
There's more?
Okay. Do you want a drink? Okay. I should have asked Mom how to cut those up. My
I
fault.
thought he was going to bite. Yeah.
Well, I kind of put the whole thing in his mouth, so that was my fault.
Over there.
Over where?
And then,
Cookie?
and
Or apples? What do you want?
then.
This?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Do you need to see him using this cup too or no?
No, not so much.
Okay.
I'm more on his straw right now. Okay, but I did notice when you put your straw in your mouth, you put it to the right. All right, you take a bite by yourself. Ooh, these are my favorites.
I have another one.
I love these. Dark chocolate.
You think that he puts it to the right because that's a stronger side for him, so that's why he's always going there. I always make sure it's centered for him.
Do this side. Good job. Do this side.
You see when he swallows the tongue.
Tongue. We've got a little more work to do with his liquids, and then we can work with the purees, with the big straw, to work on swallow. This is the hardest to work on. But keep giving him reminders. Smile. Keep your tongue in. That's that trying to move back and not really creating a bolus. Do this side.
So
keep it here.
Smile, and that helps with his tongue retraction.
Because when he smiles, his teeth go together, his tongue stays back. It's what you're modeling when you're doing this. I'm just doing it so I can see his teeth and his tongue. So I can get a little more visual of what's happening. But he's actually, when I say smile and swallow, he's doing what you're doing, which is fine. It's fine. That's just my habit of cueing.
Then you can see
Either way is good. One time, one bite. One bite, finish. So the other thing we can do with his food is get him to bite off, chew on one side, and swallow completely before he takes another bite to help him start using more of his muscles to move food rather than using food to move food.
Okay,
He's kind of shoving the next part in, which you said has gotten better. Wait. Finish that bite. Finish that bite. Put it down. Put it down. Are you done? Okay, this side. Good. Chew it up. Oh, keep it on this side.
Yeah, he tends to.
Move it to his right side. Yeah. You can see. He was doing the last time.
So always keeping it on the same side. And
We want to keep it on the same side, and then he moves it to the middle and swallows rather than trying to move it to the other side. Good. Do this side again.
How do we do that?
A lot of cueing.
A lot of cueing.
Yeah. You can visually do it. You could have two plates here and teach him that these bites go on this side and these bites go on this side. And so that he's got this visual reminder. He seems to be very good with visual cues.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
I know
Visual
you
cues.
hear it. Just turned on, you hear it. I know.
That's the air conditioner. Right, this side.
Yeah.
That was the wrong side. You put it in this hand. Look, and do this side.
No.
He's good at his memory.
That side next. Yeah. Yeah. Now this side.
Left side.
So it's hard to do with food that's like this that he has control of. If it's bites, you can control it a little bit better and teach him to put the fork down, or he's got to work at getting the next bite. I'll use a muffin pan or something with little holes so that he has to get each bite, and it takes a little bit longer to get the bite, which gives him a little bit longer to chew.
Yeah.
Can we do one? You do it. I know. Who wants to eat that after eating dark chocolate cookies?
I didn't get it, the muffin pan, Renee.
Huh?
I didn't understand.
Like a little mini muffin pan that has lots of little holes.
Alright.
Put one bite in each one. Does he use his fork himself?
Yeah, he uses
Okay.
a spoon.
Or a spoon?
Yeah.
So he'll have to work to get that bite out and put it in his mouth. And while he's chewing, he's working at getting the next bite.
I got
It gives him longer to chew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One time. Can you show me one? Would you rather show me apple?
Oh, that's what I prefer, the apple.
That's a
why-
non?
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
I brought
Cheese is not preferred either?
Yes,
No.
Okay.
And I also
That
have
one's
the
soft.
chicken nuggets and
You want this?
These are preferred, yes.
Okay. Let's look at your preferred ones. Yeah, my preferred. Oh my goodness, what are the smiley faces?
Yes.
What is that? Like a potato? Like a French fry?
Yes.
It's a smiley face.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get it on a fork.
Yes.
Yes, wait.
Stop. Yes.
You want it in your hands? Alright, you put it in your hand. Can you hold your head up? Where'd it go?
So when we do therapy, usually like we're on the floor playing with different things, so I can get a lot from him. Do you think I should be putting him in the chair then?
For this part of his therapy, I would.
This part, and then the rest of it I can take him out, do this at the beginning, and then
And
the rest
normally
of it.
I'll do this first, and then I end with my language, verbal play kind of thing at the end. It's hard to go from that here. It's easier to go from here to there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like his reinforcer. When we're done, we get to go play on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, play on the floor. Look at me. Yeah, so I think having, can you, top cabinet on the right to the sink. Nope, sink. Yeah, there's a plate.
Okay.
Let's get a plate and see if I can cut some
Do you
of
want
this
the
up.
little or big plate?
Little one's fine. I'm glad you're here. Very helpful.
You're helping me.
All right. Yeah. I know. Yeah. There we go. All right. First you eat the bites, and then I'll give you a whole whip. This side. See if we can't control it a little bit here. Yep, keep it here. Oh no, you moved it. Good job. I know, it's on that side. We'll do that one next. All right, here's a swallow. Teeth together. All right, do another one. This side. Gus. Who's Gus? Keep it this side. And you can see when he's trying to do lateral movements with chewing, he's doing this rather than this.
Okay, so
And he
he's
can't do
rolling the
this because this is pulling.
Okay.
So he's naturally wanting to do more of that. All right, this side.
What is it pulling?
He's rolling.
So like this.
And it may be when they really look at his restriction underneath, he could be more restricted on one side, and that's why he's preferring the other two. All right, so then let me try one of these. See if we can keep it over here a little longer. One time, my turn. Thank you. Oh, on this side. Over here. Chew, 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 chew. Oh, you gotta get it. Keep it there. No, I'm moving it. You want to do your hands? Say, I want to use my hands. Oh, you're so clear when you say one word at a time. Even with the mouthful. This side. Oh, keep it there. Keep it there. Keep it there. The other thing we can do to try and help him keep it there is cut the ones we're going to put on his left even smaller. So, oh, wait. I know if you want to use your hands. Wait, finish that one. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Do you want to sit?
So we're kind of build up that strength like little by little. Because if it's too big, then it's too hard.
Big. Yeah, he's chewing about 3 times and then constantly moving it there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make it smaller where maybe it'll chew up in 3 bites.
Yeah, because he gets
and then he'll swallow. Yep, this side. Keep it going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, no, still moved it. But maybe if I'd done that at the beginning, that might have been a better idea.
I did see the tongue that time like completely like flip. Yeah, and move.
A lot of flip movements going on. All right, your turn. You want to finish? All right, solids.
Are you playing peekaboo?
First, right. Practice. 2 left, 1 right.
Left.
And the bites
Left.
on left are smaller.
Left.
Okay.
Silly boy.
Are you going to also put this one up on YouTube as well?
So then I can share with you. And
Okay, yeah. So then I can review it again if I have questions and stuff. Okay.
you watched the other one, right?
No, I haven't watched all of it. No. I didn't have time. Yeah, it's a lot.
Easier to do it live.
Hi, guys.
Uh-huh. see. Let's do purple on this side. Hands down. Yep, and then we're going to do some bubbles. Put your hands down. Quick, quick. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One. Oh, I got to look at your face. I got to see. Put your head up. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And one more. There we go. Chin up. Chin up. Up and down. Slow, 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 slow. Okay. So on that left side, he slides.
Hey.
Open. Open. On the right side, he did pretty good. Open. Good. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that one's hard. Yeah. Let's see. Do you have another purple one? Let's find a second purple. Let's see what I'm doing.
And purple is an easier one.
This one's easier. Yeah. So this is another. This one you'll learn in day 2.
Okay.
It's a graded hierarchy. So the red chewy tube is the easiest. Yellow is more resistance. Purple is more resistance, and then green is the most. So when we see sliding at a lower level all the time, we're going to use 2 to try and get some symmetry. Open. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, 'cause it's nice to go fast and then it starts going.
Yeah.
So I'm always like.
So rapid is a compensatory pattern, and so is sliding. Ready? So we might even see a combination of both. Do you want chicken? Do you want chicken? Nathan, do you want chicken? No? Okay, let's do purples. 1, 2. Good. All right, good. One more time. So a lot of those is tongue trying to push. 1. I think I've done too many. All right, last one. Bite, bite,
No, that's going on.
Yeah, all over the place. Let's do this. These we did fine. Let's just see if we're getting tired. We've done a lot of jaw work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, see how that one's better? That one's easier. Open. Open, open, open. Yeah, but that one's all too soft. Open. Open. Okay, so I think what we're going to find out is if we don't do 100 repetitions of this. Purple grabber on our first one, we got 5 bilateral without slide. Okay, then we've got the red chewy tube that we're using in the pre-feeding hierarchy. The yellow one we haven't done anything with, but we're going to give him a break from that and see. Would you like a piece of chicken? Chicken? Or should we put the top on? Top on? Top? Say top. Say top. No, say top, top, top. Top. On. Thank you. Okay. Should we try some bubbles? Let's see. I had bubbles out, but I put them on. I know, you're doing so good. This has been a long session for you, huh? How long do you normally see them?
The purple,
An
right?
hour.
So I have to buy the purple.
Yes, we need one more purple
One
one.
more purple.
Yeah. Good. All right, so we've got a little bit of a jaw jet happening with that. So we're going to try and hold his jaw much better. You got him! Oh, pop,
Ready? Pop, pop.
Oops. Mine's gone. Oh, my hands. Your hands stay down. I know. My turn. My turn first. My turn, and then you can have a turn. All right, ready? Here we go. Good. Good.
Pressing his cheeks.
Uh-huh. Pressing his cheeks and really kind of pushing back on his jaw just a little bit to keep his jaw from jutting forward. Good.
Okay.
One more. One more.
And then,
Turn.
ow.
Nope. 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 My turn. I know you want to do it, but I'm better at it. I have years of practice. Yeah.
Ow. Ow.
Ow. Done?
Okay.
Okay, done with that. Let's try it a different way. Since you're just not a big fan of people's hands on your face, let's see if we can make this easier. Oh, put it between your lips. There we go. Do it again. Super. Yeah, try it again.
Never mind.
Hands down.
Never mind.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Super. Whoa. You want to do one more?
Yes.
Okay, ready? Oh, now you got puffy cheeks. Can you do in my face? Yeah. Good. Say hi.
Hi.
Good. Say how.
Ow.
Good. Say horn. Horn. Good. Say who. Very good. So if you have trouble with your H's, put a bubble in front of them.
Okay.
That is always helpful. All right, this is not working real well. He's still doing this. So you got to work on doing supporting. Yeah. Because he's not pulling his top lip down so much. He's using more of the lower
For the closure.
for the rounding. We want rounding for this one. So one thing you can do before is a little bit of this fish pop, and it may help. Ready? Let's do our kisses one more time. One. Oh, slow.
Mwah. Mwah.
Ready?
Mwah.
Good. Ready?
Mm.
Oh, hold on.
Mwah.
One more.
Mwah.
Super. Okay, so that gets his top lip to be a little more active with that. And then let's do one more bubble. One more bubble. You got it. You're almost done.
Oh, my God.
I know. I'll get it.
Okay.
Yep, I'll get it.
Mm.
One more bubble. Oh, try one more time.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No.
You want this? You want this?
Yes.
Okay, first this. Ready? Nope. Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm not real
it's like,
successful there.
like,
I'm not finding a good hand position to help him with that just yet. Let's see if I try a different tube. Let's try this one. This is going to get his jaw a little bit lower. I'm going to try and get it between his teeth. Okay, yep, I'm going to give it to you, but you got to finish. I know, you got to finish. We're almost done. I know, I'm being a little pushy here, aren't I? Oh. There we go, good. Good, do it again. Good. Good. That's it. Okay. Yes. That one worked. Okay. So I need you to order jaw closure tubes. Yep. And there is, this one is, there's 6 of them. They start out real big. You're not going to use half
yeah,
of them.
I use a red one with one of my clients.
Okay,
and a blue
that's
one.
the speech ones.
Okay.
Which you could use if you're not using them with him for speech, but I'm thinking you might want to use them for some of his sounds.
Okay.
So this is just the clear one. This is the second to the smallest.
Okay.
Work on getting his jaw down and back first, and then we can go smaller and see if he can maintain.
How does that help him get his jaw back?
Just because I'm putting it between his teeth,
Okay.
and that he's stabilizing on it a little bit. And so when he's stabilizing, his lips are going into place.
Okay, so his teeth should come
His
grab
teeth
onto
should
it.
grab onto this one for now, and then we want him to not.
Okay.
So bubble step 4, jaw closure to number 2, bite for placement, go 10 times, then just between
Just
lips.
5 more
Don't
minutes.
give me a...
5
Okay.
minutes.
Sorry.
Next, jaw closure to number 1. Okay, good. No
Yeah, stop.
jaw jut.
You
Upper.
did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
You did. Good job.
Okay, perfect. Okay, mister, I know, you are so done with me, aren't you? You can get up, I think you're done. Yes, I think you are.
Do you need me?
under control. I think this is going to help you get more clarity.
Okay.
So if you even spent 10 or 15 minutes at the beginning of your session doing some of his oral motor work,
Okay.
thinking about the sounds and the movements you're wanting to work on, you'll see his practice after activation is going to be better. And you're already doing some of that, but most of what you're doing is sensory based.
Okay.
Now you want to get a little bit of motor in there, so he's actively using some of those muscles a little bit more,
And
then transfer it to speech.
Okay.
Yeah. Chewing is a good, and you said you were doing some of the tubes too, right?
Yeah,
But you might be using the hard one.
Yeah, I was using the green because Justin, who was seeing before, she used the green too.
Okay. Yeah.
And since I don't know the
Sure.
hierarchy of the tubes,
Yeah.
I've just been using
I think that one's too
one.
hard. He's not getting a lot of compression on it,
Okay.
and so
Use the
I think if you're
bilaterally together.
if you're especially if you're just doing it for some activation of his motor system.
Okay.
So when I work on speech, I kind of think of speech as groups of sounds. So if I'm going to do his bilabials, I do lip closure work. If I'm going to do rounding, I do his straw drinking and his bubbles and his horn and the tubes.
Okay,
Right. If I'm doing elevation sounds, alveolars, then I do chewing because that gets lateral border movement. And we think about an L as an elevation, but it really is activation of the lateral borders more than it is of the tip itself.
Exactly.
That's right. So once you can kind of wrap your head around that, the more lateral work you do for elevation, the more you're going to get out of it.
Okay.
So, and it's really cool how I can try and do an elevation activity and then do L's, and it's not as good as doing lateral, 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 and then do my L's.
Okay.
It's kind of strange, but
Yeah.
and it's because most kids who have oral motor problems, the sides of their tongues become flaccid, and so even as they try and elevate, they're not tensing the sides.
Okay.
So we can get that tension through the sides. It works pretty good.
Okay. Awesome.
And I'll write all that out. Speech, hearing.
Yeah, I know that they have the third level class this
agora
week.
pra ela,
Yep.
ela-
One her name's Alicia. She's our senior here, but she's going
She'll be
to
there.
Porque eu tô
yeah,
começando
she'll be there.
7h30.
But that's what I was actually looking up, like the first ones.
Yeah.
So, like,
They are.
yeah, which would be nice to go to, but
Yeah, but you can also do them on video.
Yeah.
If you ever can get to a live one though, I can tell you, you will learn more from the live class.
Right here.
Especially if you want to go through the levels, just in teaching those, I can tell a big difference between people who've done the live courses, or at least some live,
yeah.
versus people who've done them all on video.
Okay.
It just, you absorb things better when you're in a class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So these first 12 hours, that's like the first class.
That's the
but
first
it's
class.
on
Yeah.
video. Yeah.
Well, no, they're all on video. We have
They're
every
all
class on
Oh,
video.
okay.
Most of them are on demand now. We don't have the CDs anymore. So
Okay.
you have to, you watch. Well, I say they don't have the DVDs anymore. I'm not sure.
So that's the
But
one I'm
you can
using.
watch, yeah. You may be watching a really old class too.
That's what I'm thinking. They are, I think, definitely an older class.
Yeah.
Like it starts with her talking all about like her daughter and stuff like that, and then works its way up. I mean, currently now I think I'm working on it was like the disassociation between
Yeah.
like, the
I
jaw.
mean, the class
lip,
hasn't
all
changed
that.
a ton.
Yeah.
I've been teaching that class for 15 years. But there is an old version out there where things are not up-to-date terminology.
Okay.
The hierarchies aren't that much different,
Yeah.
but just what we know more about the hierarchies and how to connect it to speech, we teach that a little bit better now than we did. But it is not a bad starting point.
Okay.
But if you're gonna get CEUs, I would not ask for CEUs off those DVDs. I would do the online course with the most current taping of that class
Okay.
and do it that way.
Okay.
You'll be happier.
All right. Okay.
Overall.
Thank you.
I have one question right there.
Yes.
Last time we met, you mentioned that it's not true apraxia, but we will still treat as if you working on apraxia.
Yeah, because when we treat apraxia, we use what we call a bottom-up approach a lot, where we break things down and build it up. We do the same thing with kids with dysarthria. So in our approach to working on speech, we're working on both all the time because you really can't separate motor planning and muscle weakness. I don't think he has really, I don't think he has neurological motor planning problems like dyspraxia. But he does have planning problems in figuring out where his mouth needs to be because his mouth doesn't do it easily. So yeah, I think we're kind of treating both of those things at the same time.
I just wanted to hear this
Yeah.
again.
No. My thoughts haven't changed. I mean,
Alright.
his imitation is really good, and you can understand him when you break it down into words, but when he tries to put 4 words together, he loses intelligibility. That's dysarthria. That's what we see with kids with muscle weakness. He can form the movements in a short period of time, but not in a long period of time. But all of this that you're doing is continuing to help facilitate that. And he's much better now than he was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Tons better. And the fact that he's learned almost all of his isolated sounds is fantastic. Now it's really working on going for good quality syllables. I do a lot of syllable practice with these kids, even if I'm working on 4-word phrases, because you can shape syllables, moo, be, but. Do you have word flip book in your office?
Yeah, I think we do have one. Yeah.
That's a good motor speech drill to work on his oral motor skills with speech, where when you work on vocabulary, sometimes having a sound that he doesn't have a great movement for impacts the whole word.
Okay.
So if you work on things in small pieces.
We were doing the flip book.
Yeah.
We
I would keep doing that with him. It's called word flips.
Word flips.
Um,
I'm pretty sure we have that.
Yeah.
let me find my iPad and I can show you too.
And Justine, she did mention the syllables, you know,
Yeah.
and how he loses the accuracy.
Okay.
It gets longer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna
29,
Okay.
30, 6:30.
So there's a book and then there's an app too.
30.
Okay.
Oh, that's an app now?
Uh-huh.
I didn't
Oh yeah,
know
there's
that.
always been an app. You have to order it from Super Duper. You can't order it from
Super duper. Okay.
you can't order it from the app store.
Okay.
But
And this is for syllable.
for syllables. So you can work on multisyllabic practice, but you can work on really making sure each one of these are very clear. So instead of him saying ba ba ba, bye, 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 and you really work on getting it perfect. I work on perfection here, versus if I ask him to say tomato, I might get pretty good, but not great. Because
And you can start with just like the 2. You
start-
don't have to have
That's
a
right.
big one on there.
You can do 2 syllables, you can do 1 syllable.
And they can all be the same, and then you can change.
And then you can change them. So I can do,
Okay.
I will often do, it's not starting at the beginning here.
Yeah.
Or no, I don't have one selected, that's why. I was working just on diphthongs with somebody. Okay, so I would have him do, if I was gonna do just 2 syllables.
Yeah.
Boo, boo,
33.
boo, bee, bee,
24.
bee, bye, 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 bye. So you can just keep it moving. And then if there's syllables you know that he's having a terrible time with, then those syllables you take out of your 2-syllable practice and you just work on that in 1 syllable and really shaping it. So if toe is hard for him because he can't get the rounding, then I just work on those. Or maybe I do all lip rounding. Toe, bow, go, no, so, show. And it's all about working on the rounding part.
Or if it's like
So you have a lot of control over it, and if you have the app, you can take out the ones you don't want to work on. If you have the paper one, you just skip over it. So, and I use both of them. So for a drill, I'll often do before I even start, we'll just do boo, bee, bye, bo, pay, peep, and we'll just do all of our syllables with all of the sounds that I know he can do, and I look for the ones I'm needing to shape. I need to do some prompting for the O, and so then that's where I'm going to spend some time working with them. And I'll do a little bit of this drill type stuff, and then go take it into a language activity, and hopefully what you've been drilling and he's been practicing good movement, he's clearer over there when you play with him.
Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's the
So
name
I'll
of
write-
the app?
It's called Word Flips.
Our word, please.
Yep. And I think that's in his program, my little method there.
Okay. So then the first,
If not, I'll put it in.
the first video was talking about how they don't believe it's like a true praxia because that usually happens to adults. So the true praxia for adults is way different than the children. She was talking about that they hope they could come up with a different name.
Yeah, see, that's so old.
Have they come up with a different
Well,
name?
so
I know there's childhood apraxia.
there's childhood apraxia of speech, yes, and that is a neurological based apraxia, but it's not based on brain damage like an adult acquired apraxia. It's an immaturity. I teach a whole 2-day class on apraxia and dysarthria and kind of the differences, but it basically is it's all in the planning. And with childhood apraxia of speech, what you most often see is irregularities. So you ask him to say key 3 times. He's going to say key and ta and go. It's going to change. It usually changes. Not always though, but that's probably the gold standard of really identifying childhood apraxia of speech, along with there needs to be other things happening as well. But with kids with oral motor deficits, they exhibit a lot of motor planning problems. But it's not because of the neurological misconnect, it's because the motor system isn't stable enough.
Okay.
That's where we use the term oral placement disorders,
Okay.
which we've written a paper on, and it may or may not be talked about in, it depends on how old your videos are.
I think it's not talked about in the
Okay,
video.
so if you go on our website, you can find the article on
What happened?
oral placement disorders.
Okay.
It was written by Diane Barr and Sarah Johnson. And so that's what we've kind of we're using that terminology. It's not recognized as an ICD-10 or by ASHA so much.
You still do like the apraxia or whatever.
Like you do motor speech work, but you base it on where they are in motor development. So if he didn't have tongue tip elevation, we wouldn't be working on tongue tip elevation sounds yet. We'd be working on the movement. So it just changes when we work on speech, not necessarily we're always going to work on speech, but when we're talking about trying to get syllableness and more words together, when you put sounds in there that they can't make, and they're not using natural substitutions because their motor system, it's a motor problem, not a developmental problem, then it makes everything difficult to
you're setting
understand.
them up with failure.
For failure, right, exactly.
Okay.
He's kind of beyond some of those early stage problems we see with kids with oral motor issues. His is really more sound specific and trying to keep it all going together. But
so the transition from motor into speech is definitely where we okay.
Yeah. So if you just when I ask kids to say any type of word, when they get it wrong, my first question to myself is, what are they doing that's not correct motorically?
Okay.
And then once I can identify that, then my next question is, do they have those motor skills yet? Have I worked on that in my oral placement program? So by the time you get to the end of your videos, you'll kind of know this whole program, and then you can say, yes, we've already done that. He should be able to make this sound. Let me work on it. Or I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. I'm not going to worry about his S's. He's going to be interdental because we haven't got full tongue retraction, back and tongue side spread and tips association. He hasn't finished enough steps yet to get there. So if he says the or C, that's it. Good. That is your best approximation for it, and we're just going to move on until I can get your motor system to do what it's supposed to do.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really helpful.
So it gives you a lot of, it kind of answers a lot of questions, like why can he get this, but he can't do it this way and that way? Why is he not following what I've been taught as far as articulation goes?
Yeah.
It's because of the underlying motor system.
Okay.
So ASHA's starting to recognize it as oral motor disorders or myofunctional. There's now some information on their website about it. There's a lot more presentations at ASHA this year on it. So it's starting to become a thing.
Okay.
It's just slow.
Are you guys going to Asha?
I am not. I will be in Egypt teaching, but
Ooh.
Top Tools is going to. Top Tools is going. I know. I can't wait. I'm taking my mom, my dad, my husband, my son, and my oldest niece are all going. So.
For like a vacation or you?
Well, I'm teaching for 2 days, but we're gonna go for 10 days. Yeah.
That's so nice.
So,
That'll be awesome.
but it's over the week of Thanksgiving, so it'll be interesting to be there for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
She has that Praxis video too. The Praxis video?
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good one. Once you take this course,
Okay, yeah.
depending on what types of kids you work with, if you work with a lot of speech kids, the apraxia course is a good next one to do.
Okay.
If you work more with young kids and feeding, then Lori Overland's feeding class is a good one to do.
So currently it's like a little bit of a mixture, but I mean, all of this, like I'm hoping to learn all this because eventually, like I really want to be in the NICU for feeding and swallowing. But I'd like to really learn about this, the older stages, so then when you are in there, like later in
Then
my
you
life.
probably want to take Lori's feeding class next, because that would be the one that would be good
And then
as a
the
next step.
apraxia one.
And then the apraxia one,
Good, we moved one straw.
You
Oh,
did!
already.
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah, you moved up in quite a few things.
And the
In some steps.
and the other one.
These are yours. That one's mine.
The horns.
Oh, we didn't test his horn.
The horns. Yeah, now that I saw this one here.
I forgot to test his horn. Let's see if he'll come back and let me test his horn.
Yeah.
Do you
have to
have
check
a
just
LinkedIn or
one
anything
more
where I
thing.
could follow you or something on there?
Yeah,
Or-
I mean, you can, you like my Facebook, you can look me up on Facebook.
Okay. Because I'm sure you post like.
I'm not good at that.
Okay. Well. Okay.
The best group to follow is the Oral Motor Institute.
Is that on Facebook?
No.
21.
Well, there's some connections to
22.
Facebook, but it's it's on the web.
24.
It's a web page,
25.
and you have to join.
26.
So that's
28.
where. That's where
29.
I'm on that board, and Robin Walsh, who's one of our lecturers, is the president of that. That's where most everything goes.
Okay, it's called Oral Motor.
Oral Motor Institute.
30.
Not with OMI.
Maybe
Good
he likes
job.
doing this. He likes playing trick or treat. Just getting the candies and transferring here.
Yes.
You know, so maybe we can do that.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to play trick or treat?
Oh, trick or treat.
Candies,
Play
look.
trick or treat.
Wow. Yes.
Yay!
Go, Nathan. Please.
Trick or treat.
Hey, Nathan. You go play later, huh?
Oh, and then Chuck E. Cheese. Trick or treat, then Chuck E. Cheese. Yay!
Nathan.
What do you have over there?
Ooh, you know what?
You have frogs. Renee
This way there
Roy
has
Hill.
candies.
I think it's under Renee Roy Hill. Or it could be Renee
You
Hill.
want to show Renee
That's how
the
much
camera?
I'm good at how good I am at that stuff.
Show your camera.
Renee Hill. I think it's just Hill.
Do you need this?
Go.
Renee, his bowls or no?
No, I'm good. I wrote down everything from there.
Show Renee.
I couldn't finish this down.
This camera, Renee.
You didn't need to do it
No,
again.
okay,
I was not specific enough with Nancy that only the new ones needed to fill that out.
Yes.
Yay!
I'll raise everything. Don't worry.
Oh, cheese! Oh! Get my good side.
It's gonna be a photo.
Cheese. Oh, did you get a good one? Let me see. I have to approve my photos. Okay, Nathan, can you blow my horn 5 times? Let's see. Put the camera down. Put it there. All right, let's blow. Let's see if we can get a picture of you blowing. Can I take a picture of you? Can I take your picture? Let me take yours.
Yeah.
No? Okay, you hold it. All right, you blow. 1. Can you do longer? Good. Do it again. 3 more. 1. I wish this little thing wasn't broken, because this often will keep
Yeah.
you going. Here we go. Let's see if that'll stay. Woo! That could be fun too. I know, it fell, didn't it? Let me see if I can hold my finger there. All right. Good. it down, didn't it? All right, so let's do
Oh.
good. All right, so he's got a lot of pressure, not a lot of control. So we want
I just get another one.
super hard on that one. This one might make you do it a little bit better. Oh, wait, nope. I don't get it, please. I don't get it. I'm gonna have to watch every one of these if you touch it, sir. That gives me a lot of extra work that I'm not interested in doing during my lunch hour. All right, feet down. Look at this one. New one. Oh, so much better. Good.
Oh, this is.
I'll do this one. Okay. Way to go! Good. Do again. Good. Good. Use your belly. Good. Again. One more. Good. A little longer. Ooh. A little longer. Good. One more. Yay! That was it. High five. Now you're done. Okay, so we can definitely start the next horn. So you'll learn about this one too.
Okay.
This is in there. Horn number 5 out of 12. I think he probably could do this one 25 times. That's your goal.
Yes,
Okay.
good job.
But I can hear this every once in a while with his tongue. We want tongue retraction. We don't want protrusion retraction.
Okay, so
So
then
we gotta listen for that.
Okay, and he does that.
Don't hear it.
Okay,
It
and do
doesn't-
you like ask him to bring his tongue back? Or
You could
how?
try, see what you think. Just try different things and see what works. Maybe tell him bring his tongue back. Tell him use your lips. A lot of times, if you'll tell them to use another part rather than don't do something else, it works better.
Because he knows something to focus on.
Yeah, because if you say don't use your tongue or pull your tongue back, he probably is going to push forward. So, but he's good. He only has to blow it 1.5 seconds, so he's blowing longer than he needs to.
Okay, but you want it the correct
But I
way
want it
for
the
the
correct
whole-
way. Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't need to don't let him do the 6-second ones, because that's going to wear him out.
Yeah.
So pull it out after 1.5, 2 seconds,
Okay.
and try
And
and
25
get the
times, you
repetition.
think we can
25
practice
times.
that?
I think he's going to be able to do it pretty quick once he
Okay.
gets his tongue in the right place. Because this work, I bet this is working pretty good.
Okay.
But this will work. These will work. Continue to work on his tongue retraction and his airflow and control, so
Okay.
that instead of pushing real hard, it's nice and steady like speech. So you'll hopefully on the videos you're watching, she's going to talk about.
Okay.
We're trying to mimic speech air, and so it's not and then blow. It's blow.
Yeah, because when you're talking, you're using
It's
a
blow.
continuous.
It's blow and holding it right. So each horn, or every few horns, we increase the duration
Okay.
to get him to use his abdominals a little longer.
Okay.
And then the horns get a little harder and harder to blow because of the resistance inside.
Okay.
Okay?
Awesome.
So
So,
our-
this whole part should take probably about, what, 15, 20 minutes working on at the beginning?
Yep.
And do I go through all of these for him?
If you
Or
can,
kind of-
that's great.
Okay.
It probably is going to depend on his mood that day, his cooperation. So just give yourself 15 or 20 minutes and see what you get done.
Okay.
And then the next time you see him, pick the other ones to work on and
Okay.
just alternate them. And then mom's going to be doing them in between at home, so that he's getting some constant practice.
Okay.
Mostly the food parts and the tongue lateralization. Really trying to get that, keep that going so that we can work on that chewing. But it'll be interesting if you go to a dentist and have them look at his tongue. If they say yes, he's restricted, we're not going to worry so much about his tongue movements because now we know why. It's because he can't do much more than he's doing. So then there's that point where we say, we just got to wait until we can get that restriction released so that we can then work for that next level. But he went up in every one of his exercises for tongue mobility went up. But functionally, he's still doing this. Just like he can do an L,
Yeah.
but functionally he's not doing it regularly. He can do things functionally, and that's where these ties lie, is in the function. So, and I'll write all that out in a letter, and I'll do a little bit of asking around to find out if there's a lot of new education in tongue releases, and so we look for preferred providers who are trained in the newer procedures,
Okay.
not the old procedures. Because if they don't know how to look at this functionally, they're not going to do a good release. Even if they say yes, we'll release it, they don't release enough. Is what happens. So I'll see if
it's better that I wait for.
It's better that we wait for a person that we know. And I've got some Facebook pages and some lists I can go through to see who's the closest for you.
Okay.
And then let's go see them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then go from there.
Can they release too much?
Not really.
Okay.
I've never heard. There's not been any indication.
With the muscle? In the muscle?
Some of it is in a little.
They have to cut
They have to go into some of the muscle in the back, and that's where the problem comes, where people are releasing the white part in the front, but not releasing the muscle in the back, so it's still restricted. They might not be so restricted in the front anymore, but then the back's still restricted. And then, but there's some pre-op work that you have to do to get him ready. Because depending on the type of procedure they do, there may be stretches that we have to do before or after. So they like to do a good 30 days of working with them before to make sure, because you don't want to have this done and then it reattaches, because that's the problem. If you don't do the stretches afterwards, if they do a laser procedure, it will reattach. If they clip, it's not so bad, because they take a lot of that tissue away. So there's a lot of factors to think about, and let's just get that started and see who we find. And you'll go in an office and they will. It will make sense to you, or it won't. You know, when you talk to them, most people, it's either no, he's not restricted, because they're looking at whether or not he can do this.
And go up.
First and up, and he can, but when he goes up, he's pulling. And when we look at it functionally, he doesn't have certain movements, and so that's where we've got to have somebody who knows how to put those two pieces together.
And the horn, we still keep.
We're going to start number 5. This is the next one.
I had it there.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so this one. I think we had started on 4 in your report, but he can definitely do this one, and he probably can do the next one, but just to kind of get him into the right mindset, since he hasn't done it, start with an easier one before you start with one that's a little harder. But so this, again, just like this, I think these are going to go fast.
Okay.
He's just needs a little more consistency.
So when is it that she can figure it out how to move on?
I'm going to write that all in my program.
He won't be doing like that and for 1.5 seconds, so he's doing
That's
that
right.
beautifully.
Right. And his body is going to be still. I'll write in there all the things you need to look for. Body is still, he's sitting back, just his lips are moving, you feel his abdominals, and he's doing it for that amount of seconds. That's when you know. And most of the time, when I think I know, I send it home another week for practice, just to make sure.
Okay.
Just so that it's well established. And if I think it, maybe, just do it again another week. It does not hurt to go too slow.
Yeah.
You want to go slower than faster through these things.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay?
Me too.
Yeah. And then we can, I do a lot of teletherapy. So if we want to do a teletherapy session in a couple months, after you've kind of gotten going, to look at, are we looking at the right things? What are you doing at home? Are we doing everything correctly? We can keep things going a little bit faster and more consistent, and then fix problems faster, since I don't seem to come back real regularly.
Like, when do you usually come here? The last time you came?
When I'm teaching a class.
Oh, okay.
So I'm here to teach level 3, and so that's why I'm,
Okay.
Once a year it seems like.
Sometimes it's for San Diego, sometimes she goes, or
Okay.
a Bay Area.
If it was in San Diego, though,
I'll be at Disneyland in July.
in July.
For SMA conference, spinal muscular atrophy.
You can subscribe to the contact talk to's.
Okay.
So you receive.
You get all our classes and when we're teaching. Yeah, make sure you're registered with Talk Tools.
Yeah, because.
And on Facebook, there's a Talk Tools Facebook page, so get on that one too.
Okay. And is this yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if I?
No, go
add
ahead.
you?
Yep,
Is that okay? And then
I have so many people that I've added
added.
that I have no idea who they are, but I assume I met
Yeah.
them through talk therapy. And then my web page that I honestly do not update very often is Crossroads Therapy Clinic Facebook page.
In Texas, right?
Yeah.
Or is it in Texas?
Uh-huh.
And you opened that one?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. I used to, we used to have a talk to a clinic in Arizona when Sarah was still working. And then when they moved the company to South Carolina, I moved to Texas. Actually, I moved to Texas before I moved to South Carolina. But
yeah.
now the Talk to Us doesn't have any clinics anymore. They just do continuing education and tools and webinars. There's a million webinars now.
Okay, is it this one?
No. Crossroads Therapy Clinic. Put clinic on the end.
I got it here, yeah.
New Braunfels.
This
Yeah,
one.
that was it.
On Facebook,
Yep.
this is one.
Okay, so then.
I know. Talk to Us keeps telling me I've got to do better at my Facebook and my Instagram. It is.
No, you have to have someone do this for you.
I know. And I don't
It's
have
very time consuming,
I know,
right?
it is. And they want us to videotape more of our therapy sessions, and I don't have time to do.
I can do that for you.
I see. Yeah, all right, come to New Braunfels. Oh, some people are super good at it, but I
charge
am
much
not.
less.
I am terrible.
Okay, awesome.
So-
Thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate all of your
Glad you
help.
came.
This is only my second year, so.
Oh, so
my
you're
second
where I was when I started. I was 2 years out of college when I took my first Talk Tools class.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did, because I probably would have quit.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I know I've been seeing it, and I'm just like, this can help
Traditional therapy
so
is
many-
super frustrating when you want to work in the medical community.
Yeah.
If you want to work with any diagnosis.
Because you have to have all of these underlying.
Yeah. And we're not taught any of that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So I was like, how am I supposed to help you? And I have
Yeah.
several kids who have Down syndrome,
Yeah.
and like